everyone, welcome to Long Arm Wednesday. I'm Laura Lynn of the Mom and Pop Quilt Shop, and we're very happy to see you here today. Today working on a unique project. It's actually a quilt that's already been bound, and I'm going to quilt it up. I didn't bind it, just saying that's the way it came to me. So I had to really think of this in the proper way, because you can't just go quilt it from the top to bottom. You're going to end up with a lot of pucker and extra bulk of fabric here. So I had to think of it as how I would tackle this as if it was a domestic machine and go work from the center out on each way. So that's what I've done. I went and did the two center blocks of squares here. They're very pretty. It's a nice big star. It's got beautiful Christmas fabric. It's got poinsettia on the front with this very vibrant solid green, and lovely holly and berry green and white on the back. It's quite lovely here. I'll show you with the small camera there so you can take a look. Oops, sorry. And so what we're going to do is just finishing it off. So I worked my way from the center. I did the center bits and then worked them again and again, and then rolled a little bit, working the top, and then rolled a little bit, and now I'm working the last row here. So I've chunked it along. I've just stitched in the ditch right here in the red, right next to where I need to be. She didn't want anything in the green. She wanted red thread, and on the back is green thread. So you can do that. You have to make sure your tension is really bang on so you don't see any from either side. Like if you go and you look at this back here, you can't see any red threads at all. And if you go and you look at the front here, you can't see any green threads at all. So there we go. So I'm going to finish off these three here that I have to do. And I was just working from left to right, right to left, making sure I'm kind of equally distributing the fabric, you know, so there's no folds or puckers. And then for the clamps, you're just holding it. You're not tugging it, and you're not yanking it, because you will distort the border by tugging it. So just let it just sit there. Just let it, it's just applying even tension across the whole face of the quilt. Okay. So what I was doing here is, because I have to go in and around everything, so I'm just coming down here, 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 back and forth, and then go all the way around the outside, and then skip and do the outside little border. Okay, that's what I was doing. Easy peasy. Couple of locking stitches, 12 stitches per inch. I do have it on the belt. Sometimes that just helps you with the X and Y axis as you're going left to right and up and down and stuff like that. So, and I'm just kind of holding it, giving it a nice little, not really holding it, just bracing it, I guess, just to make sure I'm getting nice and straight lines. Okay, and I'm just trying to stick to the red, and then here, and then the top. You could fill on the outside first, then come to the inside. It's whatever makes you feel comfortable, okay? And then just steady as she goes. Oh, a wobble there. You're going a little too fast. Sometimes if you go a little faster, it's easier. You just have a little bit better control. And then on one of these ones where you're coming up to the point on the outside square, make sure you come and do the inside square and then work your way back, okay? So this was a project that was tackled, hoping that she could hand stitch it. It ended up being too big a task. She went to go machine stitch it. It still was too big of a task for her machine. So now it's on Walt and we are dealing with it. And I think in a very pretty manner, because it's making all these little green stars pop right out once we put these lovely stitches where they need to be. Okay. And it makes a lovely green star on the back. That's right, a little faster. And now to the outside, because that's where we started off. Now to the outside square. You just have to have a little bit of patience with trying to tackle this. And what it is this is actually a very interesting bound one. They've taken the outside border and bound it to the back. And I thought that was pretty cool. I've never seen that before. Okay, so there we go. So put a couple locking stitches. Now I don't want to cut threads or break threads. I can just skip right up right here, put my locking stitches to make sure, because other than that I'd have like 2 tails this long instead of just having a little tail that long. So I don't want to waste thread, right? And then same, just following the red. And this is actually Christmas red thread, and I believe the green is called forest green. So, and it was the 2 colors that she liked for this project. Like I said, you can do 2 threads. You just have to be really bang on with the tension. Okay, I'll move those out of the way. I don't want to lock them down by stitching over them. If you can prevent it, do so. There we go. Okay, stitched over the previous stitches, another 2 little lock stitches, and then there we go. See, there's that pretty little green thread right up from the bottom. Okay, and then we'll clip that, and then when we go to the back, once we get it all taken off, we'll take all those little tiny threads that were jumping from there to there off, right? Okay, so the next one, do the same thing. Like I say, whatever works for you, inside out, right side in, you know, everybody's got their own way. Okay, and then same, just following. And you don't have to do a whole lot to accent this quilt, to make all those little Christmassy stars stand out. Apparently her sister did one very similar, but where hers is solid, it was a pattern, and you know, and vice versa. So wherever it's that solid green, it was a pattern piece for a pattern star, and the other where it's the poinsettia, it was a solid. So I thought that would look really neat too. I think that would be really pretty. And she didn't do it actually in Christmas colors, so it was a different sort of color combination altogether. So you can do, you know, just pick a pattern, pick Christmas fabrics, and make it up. It doesn't. No one's going to say whether it's right or wrong, especially a starry type. So I went and did the inside square, making sure not to do that. I realized I was getting to the last access point, sort of where I could, and then straight down. Right into the corner, and straight back up, and then finish the outside edge. Again, always lock over the stitches just a little bit. If you can do 4 to 5, that's probably perfect. That way you know nothing is ever going to unravel, right? Oh, I broke threads there, but you get the gist. And then just to show you, sorry, Lofi, I have to go around you here. When I pinned it, I'll show you the edge here, so you can see how I pinned it, was just because it was just the binding. I just had the binding edge to pin on, okay? So I just, nice even row of my nice big corsage pins, and then just made sure I kind of kept that folded edge, the binding edge, right along my little canvas or my leader, and just try to keep it nice and straight, so everything was loading and being consistently straight as I'm going along for the top and for the bottom. So, and it's working out well. And she didn't want anything in here. She didn't want it quilted at all. She just wanted to stitch and a stitch and a stitch and a stitch in these, and that was it. And she was going to be quite the happy camper to have all that finished. So I'll do that, and that'll be the rest of my Wednesday. So you take care and enjoy yours, and we'll see you on the weekend project. Okay? Thanks, everybody. Have a good one. Bye-bye.